I am your host, Leah Dunlap, and you are listening to the Oracle on Purpose podcast, where we help intentional leaders clarify their purpose and next steps to create a work and life of significance. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I am Leah Dunlap, your host at the Oracle on Purpose podcast. And I'm super excited today because I am part of an incredible event called the Potapalooza, and I've had the opportunity to just talk to the most fantastic people all across the nation and some around the world, I believe. So here is the great thing. My next guest is Pamela Heath, and she is a keynote speaker, international best-selling author, life coach, business strategist, empowering women, I love this part, with the tools to discover, design, and deliver their unique message. And of course, as those of you who have been watching my episodes and watching me online know, I am all about us each having our own unique life purpose, which of course then leads to a unique message, which is why I've asked Pamela to be a guest today so she could share more about who she is and what she's up to. And we can learn from her what it means to empower ourselves to do these things and create a better connection with the world and be on purpose. So Pamela, thank you so much for being here. I know that one of the things that my clients and my listeners are very in tune with is understanding what makes them special, what it is that they're here to create and create with because of their purpose. So I'm really curious to hear from you a little bit about yourself before we jump into all the great questions I have. So tell us what brought you to your work.
So I have a zero to hero story, which is really compelling. I started out in life, as somebody who achieved a lot of success, and I had it all. I had a great marriage, 26-year marriage to a musician, and I have a soft spot for musicians. I'm a groupie by nature. And I had two wonderful children. I had the beautiful home, a fantastic car, incredible job, and all of it was going for me until one day the unthinkable happened, and my eldest child, my beloved daughter, committed suicide. And when she did, it began a spiral of circling the drain. I lost my home, I lost my job, I lost my car. My husband died suddenly from complications of undiagnosed diabetes. And I was at the point where I had lost it all. And I was living on the street in my son's minivan because I had nowhere else to go. And I actually had given up. I was waiting to die. I just couldn't see any reason to go on. I was in my mid-50s. I just didn't see what the point was when you could lose everything like that so quickly and in such succession. And then something happened which was unbelievable. It changed my life and it created who I am today. And it's kind of interesting because for most people, this would have been a negative incident, but for me, it was life altering. What happened was someone attacked me. A man had been watching me and noticed I was living on the street. And one day he decided to make his move and he came running up behind me while I was bent over rummaging in my car, and I heard him coming. And in that moment, two things happened, which were incredibly, an epiphany, actually. So when he grabbed me, I whirled around and I realized the first thing was that I wanted to live. And up until then, I thought I didn't. I thought I had lost it all and I thought I was given up. But when that man grabbed me, I fought like a Tasmanian devil. I pushed and I shoved and I hit and I spit and I kicked and I startled him. And when I startled him, that second epiphany came because I shut off everything and just focused on survival. And in that moment, I jumped into my car and locked the door, and he could no longer get in. And he tried, but he couldn't. And I called the police and he ran away. And the second epiphany happened in that moment. And the second epiphany was, I did want to live, but I didn't want to live like this. Ugh. So I made up my mind right then. And I made a phone call the next day to an associate who had a company. And I said, how's it going with you and your team? Hey, if you let me come in there, I can empower your team if they're not productive. And they'll be more productive than you'd ever believe. How'd you like me to come in there and show you what I can do? And he said yes. Wow. And I went in there and I empowered his team and they became more productive. And he told his friends, and the next thing you know, one by one, client by client, I built in 2 years a 6-figure consulting company. I'm Pam Heath and I'm the Yes Coach. And I call my coaching Yes Coaching. And the point of it is it's very spiritual and it's very grounded, but it's inside the philosophy that life resonates at the energy of yes. And as long as you say yes to life, life says yes to you. So here I am on your podcast, letting people know to say yes.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Especially that last thought. The first big aha for you, that you were ready to live, just not that way. I think that is so amazing. And it resonates so closely to my own story. I was feeling like, wow, were we walking on parallel paths or what? And I think that inspiration and the knowledge that our lives have purpose, and that even when it seems darkest, right, there is still this purpose at play behind all of it. And I love how amazing it is that you turn that story around to a place where not only did you get to prosper, which is what we're all about around here, but that you got to share that message with others and show them how they too could choose life and choose to be a part of this amazing experience that is our humanity. When you do your work, when you're out there in the field working with people and speaking to people and inspiring people, as you obviously are, what do you think when you look at it now and you kind of cast your eyes forwards? What would you say is that big impact, that most positive impact you're making in the world with that work today?
What I do for people is I help them to distinguish when they're being a yes and when they're being a no. Because most people don't actually realize they're being a no when they're being a no. I'll give you an example. When you go into a restaurant and you sit down and the waiter comes over and says, hey, what would you like? You don't look up at the waiter and go, well, don't serve me pancakes. It just isn't what you lead with, right? You lead with what you want. But isn't it interesting that in life, that's often not the case? What walks out of our mouth is what we don't want. We're so busy trying to make sure people are clear what not to do. We forget that when you ask for what you want, it can be delivered. And we don't follow the waiter into the kitchen to make sure that the chef cooks what we asked for. Do we? We sit there knowing it's coming because we asked for it. But how many times in life do we second guess something we requested? We actually operate like it's not going to come, or we figure out and get doubt and worry and stress, because as far as we're concerned, asking for it is not necessarily the pathway to getting it. But what if it was? What if it was the pathway to getting it? What if all you have to do in order to have your dreams come true is just to have one?
Yes, I love it. And that's so true. And you guys have all heard me say this before. We don't put the seed in the soil and then pull it up every day to find out if it's growing or not. We have to trust. And that's what I hear you saying is we have to trust that when we put our order in, we will get what we asked for in some way or shape. And I think that is such a powerful message. I'm so grateful that you're out sharing it in the world. What is your big vision for your own life? What's next for you, Pamela Heath, with what you're up to?
Well, it was a big pivot for me when the pandemic hit and I had to shift from being someone who coached live to someone who coached digitally on virtual stages. And I made that pivot. And now what I'm up to is I'm speaking. I'm promoting my book, which is called Say Yes. It's on Amazon. It's an international bestseller. And one of the things I want to create for people is the opportunity to teach them what I learned is that life is beautiful and that anything you want, you can have if you just say yes. And that's my big to do right now is spreading the message and reaching the masses and letting people know you can have anything you want. Just say yes.
Yes, you can have anything you want. Just say yes. What a great message to share. What do you think is the biggest challenge you come across for people to think that they're capable of saying yes to those big dreams?
The biggest thing that I come up against is people telling me that I am saying yes. I'm trying every day to get this and I'm striving to get that and it's not happening. Where are the clients? Where's the money? Where's this? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I mean, how do I know that I'm just spinning my wheels and I'm not wasting my time? And what I tell them is that, look, think about it. If someone had come up to me, God or whoever, and said to me, look, you're going to be this incredible motivational speaker on the level of, Anthony Robbins or Les Brown, and and you're going to, impact hundreds, thousands of people's lives, and you're going to be wealthy and have your own home and all this stuff. But first, your firstborn has to die. What do you think I would have said? No, thank you.
No, thank you.
But the thing is, there's a bigger picture here, because I'm a coach. And because I went through what I went through, I was homeless. I was living on the street. There's very few people that can match me for tragedy. And yet here I sit smiling with a best-selling book, living in an incredibly beautiful home. And I did that because I said yes. And if I can say yes, anybody can.
Well, I would like to ask for a final thought, but I think that right there says it all. If Pamela can say yes, you can say yes. Anyone can. And I love that you're mentioning that whatever your tragedy is, that there's still a chance, there's still a choice to be made, and that it is up to you to say yes. So I know people are wondering how they can hear, learn, get more information from you. Why don't you tell people how they can connect with you after this?
Well, the best way to reach me is to go to my website, which is yescoachforyou.com. If you go to my website, yescoachforyou, that's the number 4, the letter U.com, you will pick up for free my ebook, Transform Your Money Mindset. And if you download that ebook, you'll find all the tips and hints I have about releasing your limiting beliefs around money and opening your life up to receive. Money will come like rain from the sky if you're ready to receive it. And most people don't even know they're blocking it, because in their mind, money is like this awkward conversation. It's like people don't want to talk about it. It's like you farted in the room or something when you even say money. Well, that ebook will help you break through those barriers. And I invite you to go to my website and download my ebook, Transform Your Money Mindset, today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your knowledge and your inspiring story. I want to know, because my intuition is asking this, is there another book on the horizon, Pam?
I have already come out with another book. I'm actually in a book called Harmony and Chakras, which it's a compilation, and I have the chapter on the root chakra, which is your money chakra, and how you can leverage that to bring more abundance and more success to your life. So I highly recommend you go pick up Harmony and Chakra.
That's it. Go there and pick that book up. Go, of course, to her website and get all the details that you can about how to connect to her and find out more about what she's up to as she moves forward and does her magic in this world. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. Thank you, Pamela, for being here and sharing your inspiring story for us. And I hope that everyone who's watching remembers that it really is a matter of asking for what you do want instead of complaining or sharing all the time what you don't want. What we put our energy and our intention to is what we bring back to us. So thank you so much again. I am Leah Dunlap, the Oracle on Purpose. And remember, whatever you're up to, wherever you are here on purpose. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Oracle on Purpose show. If you found value in this episode, we'd appreciate you leaving a comment. Also, you can subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't yet. If you'd like to get clear on your highest vision and next steps, go to oracleonpurpose.com. See you next week.